India's strict warning to terror patrons. Security strategy and strong words. Online warfare erupts between India and Pakistan. Crackdown on misleading Pakistan channels. "14 local terrorists in army's crosshair." Spy agency's kill list of terrorists only on India Today. Delhi Titans grip, Islamabad on edge. No space for terror in Naya India. Top focus only on 5 Live. New video emerges of what happened in Pahalgam. Just imagine this for a second. Hundreds of people from across India on a vacation when suddenly they hear gunshots and run for cover. And there is no cover in a meadow like this. And yet, whatever little they could find, whether there was perhaps a temporary shop that was set up, this is right where the massacre was happening. Mobile footage of some of the eyewitnesses that India Today has accessed, people hiding for cover, as some of them, just like them, are being massacred. You can clearly understand panic, and I can also hear some of the Kashmiris who are hiding for cover as well. It's a realization that they're beginning to have. From what I can gather, what we hear is that clearly they have come to kill us. Something is happening. What is that? They can hear gunshots in the background. Remember, this looks like a temporary shop. Let's try and ascertain the details in it. Mir Farid joining me from Srinagar. Arvind Oja also joining me live on this. Farid, you first take me through this video. Help explain, because in a meadow like this in Baisaran, you and I know that there wouldn't be areas to hide for cover.
Well, absolutely. If you're in the meadow and if you're in the middle of the meadow, then you'll have to run a lot. In fact, almost 300-400 meters to reach the forest area or reach the tree line, which obviously you can use as a shield. But in this case, while some tourists managed to do it, the others who were on the other side or who were close to the squad of TRF, they could not run. And this video is another testimony of the mayhem that broke loose. Now, I, as someone who has lived in Kashmir, seen this on and off, I know the difference between a gunshot and a firecracker. But in this case, tourists who come from various paths have not been exposed to this kind of a life. They have no idea. Initially, they think that these are probably firecrackers, which could be part of what Baisaran has to offer. But all of a sudden, when panic happens, when they hear cries of people who have fallen, their families, then most of them realize that something is terribly wrong, and then they run for cover. This also tells you that the local responders, the Godewalas, the people who sell small merchandise there, they also did not desert these tourists. They are with these tourists, telling them to lie low. And while some are communicating with each other, saying that their customer has also been injured. So this is the kind of conversation, but clearly panic, mayhem and heart-wrenching scenes where these tourists are in a huddle. Some are searching for their kids, others for other family members, and then basically trying to run away from the line of fire. So this again tells you what happened that day, and as we get more and more videos, the picture gets clear that how it all unfolded and how easily.
Tell me this, because these are such crucial eyewitness accounts, and I understand there would be many survivors who are still living through the nightmare. Remember the shock and trauma. To be able to understand that you've miraculously escaped this massacre that 26 other men have had to face. Fareed, tell me this, how will the investigators be looking at these crucial eyewitness accounts possibly? And I'm sure, even though it's not out in the public domain, that whether it's NIA, Jammu Kashmir Police, are reaching out to as many, and they have access to many more footage to be able to ascertain what exactly happened.
Well, Pooja, this case is now, the investigation is firmly in the domain of the NIA. Multiple NIA teams are camping in Pahalgam. They're being held by the local admin, by the police. And I can tell you that first, we've been told that all the Godewalas, everyone who was there in Baisar, locals, be it the service providers, anyone who was there has been connected with their numbers, their details, their accounts have been registered. Now, post that, you will also have the accounts of the crucial eyewitnesses, the tourists, who could be really of great help in identifying the people who came in firing. So all these things are happening. That is the other part of the investigation. And then also the evidence at the crime scene, including the bullets, the footmarks, everything is being scanned, searched, and thorough investigation is underway. Now, that is the NIA style of doing things. But on the other hand, you also have the other operation where this Falcon squad of the TRF is on the run. The security forces are on their hot trail, and hundreds of troops are on it. Obviously, a lot of pressure from the government of India because they want results. The Home Minister has made it clear that the belt forces need to produce results because Chuk has happened, but now it's not the time to discuss that. It's the time for action, and they need to produce results.
But lessons will have to be learned. What exactly happened? What exactly happened in a meadow? And that pressure, those questions also will be asked, and rightly so. Just listen in again. What happened in Pahalgam? This is a fresh video India Today has accessed. Investigators are looking at this too. How people, innocent tourists, huddle for cover. "26 men." As we look at these visuals, remember, massacre, 25 of them identified and targeted as per survivor accounts. Pakistan-sponsored terrorists, possibly with local active terrorist support as well, were able to shoot dead at point-blank range innocent people, tourists on vacation. Lashkar terrorist Adil Thokar is one of the prime suspects, but the hunt is on clearly, not only with regard to the terrorists still hiding in the jungles, but also a retaliatory strike. I want you to take a look at the special report of the hunt for terrorists and supporters of terror.
The carnage in Pahalgam. 26 innocent tourists shot dead in cold blood. Many at point blank range, shot in the head. Shot by Pakistani terrorists, backed apparently by local terror operatives. Several days on, a massive manhunt is on to nab the butchers of Pahalgam in jungles adjoining the area. The security forces are using sophisticated state-of-the-art scanning equipment. It has now been revealed that the terrorists may still be holed up in the forests of South Kashmir, not far from Pahalgam. The security forces were close to their terror hideout at least twice, but the terrorists seem to have escaped at the last moment. Local Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist Adil Thokar, who had travelled to Pakistan with valid travel documents via the Atari-Wagah border, emerging as the prime accused, who pulled the trigger along with at least 3 other hardcore Pakistani terrorists. The forces have meanwhile begun identifying and neutralizing the bases of local terrorists who provided logistics and support to the Pakistani terrorists. Their homes are being blown up using improvised explosive devices to send across a clear message that bleeding India and killing Indians will come at a terrible, unaffordable cost for the radical terrorists.
Operations will continue till they are not tracked down, and it's not just Pahalgam. But if you talk of other areas, forest areas of South Kashmir, including Kokarnag, right up to Pahalgam, the jungle track which obviously has been used by TRF and Jaish as a transit route, is being scanned by multiple forces. So that tells you that they are on their hot trail, and according to sources, it's only a matter of time before they are tracked down and taken care of. Captain Muzaffar Ahmed, Mir Farid, Srinagar for India Today.
Mir Farid continues to be with us. He's been consistently tracking all the updates from Pahalgam to Srinagar. This is the latest video on your screens, another fresh video of how tourists are hiding for cover. And that's when you realize that one temporary shop possibly was the only respite that also saved at least a dozen people. I want to also now bring in Farid. Tell me about the strategy of blowing up the terrorist houses. What is the symbolic message? Why are the armed forces and the government doing that? How are they ensuring that whether it's a local terrorist or foreign terrorist, they want to go after as much the active terrorist, but also the ecosystem that possibly, even though minuscule right now, is still harboring and providing support?
Well, Pooja, in the last some time, the number of local cadre has come drastically down. It used to be in hundreds. Right now, hardly 10 to 20 are active. Yes, there is an OGW network, but more or less 90% of which is smashed. But then you have sleeper assets of the handlers of Lashkar and Jaish who are there in the forest area because they know if they come down, they will be taken care of, such as the intel network of the security agencies as far as Kashmir hinterland is concerned. So the new strategy is to stay in the forested area. So that is something that is an issue, because to launch an operation in the forest, it requires time. It is tricky considering the jungle terrain, and you have to be patient to ensure that you don't get casualties in the first contact. So those are the challenges as far as security agencies are concerned. But to your question, the blasts that have happened, at least 9 houses have been blown up. then there was hue and cry from people that the neighboring houses, some of them have been damaged. So now it seems that we may see that action slowing down because the message has already been sent. As you rightly said, it was symbolic, but this was a message of intent from the government of India that these acts will not be tolerated. While dealing Pakistan is a separate subject, but dealing the enemy within is something that they'll take care of immediately. So those blasts have happened, but then there is also a section, Pooja, where you have to understand that a lot of effort has gone into bringing Kashmir to where it was before the Pahalgam attack. Now this is an aberration, this is one of its kind attack, but previously things had stabilized, peace prevailed, stone pelting is gone. So that aspect also government has to undertake, because these blasts should not trigger a new narrative, and that is why the message has now been sent. So probably we'll see this action ceasing as of now,
That's
and
a
then
big point. Yes.
they're taking the other operations
that
forward.
Farid is making. Fair point, Farid, because remember the fact is, and there's a reason you see so many Kashmiris coming out to protest as much, because in the past 5 to 6 years at least, they had also started to see the normalcy, the change, the transformation that had come, and it was a collaboration from the government and from the people on the ground, and eventually you will need that support of the local population. Farid, stay on with me. Arvind Ojha also joining us. He also bringing us the video right now on your screen as the hunt is on for the terrorists presently. And viewer, you must understand, these are forest belts. It's very difficult as a terrain to operate in. A lot of these jungles had been flushed out of the jihadists. However, as we saw in this case, there are still a few active terrorists who managed to sadly successfully carry out this massacre. अरविंद, मैं आपको अब लाती हूँ इस टेलीकास्ट में कि जब हम ये वीडियो देख रहे हैं, जो फ्रेश वीडियोस आए हैं और डिटेल्स जो आ रही हैं, ये क्या दर्शाता है? किस तरह से एक आइडेंटिफाई करके, टारगेट करके मैसेकर ऐसी जगह चुना गया जहां छुपने की भी जगह ना मिले?
बिल्कुल, और पूजा और इंडिया टुडे की टीम, मैं खुद भी इस बैरसन घाटी पर गया हुआ था। बिल्कुल आपने सही कहा, और वीडियो अगर ये इंडिया टुडे ने फ्रेश वीडियो एक्सेस किया है जिसमें जो टेररिस्ट है वो बाकायदा फायरिंग कर रहे हैं और जो टूरिस्ट है वो बचने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। वहाँ पर जो घोड़े और खच्चर वाले हैं वो भी टूरिस्ट को सेफ कर रहे हैं। ये जो वैली है इस पे बाकायदा प्रॉपर इसको रैकी करने के बाद तब जो आतंकवादी थे उन्होंने अटैक किया था, क्योंकि ये काफी ज्यादा ऊंचाई पर है। पूजा,
अरविंद, अब आप हमें ये भी बताइए कि किस तरह से स्ट्रैटेजी है सरकार की। सवाल उठ रहा है कि टेररिस्ट अभी भी उन जंगलों में है, इवन दो ये एक इंसिडेंट हुआ है इतने सारे एफर्ट्स के बाद, इतने सालों के एफर्ट्स के बाद। किस तरह से स्ट्रैटेजी रहेगी सरकार की और ग्राउंड पे किस तरह का सेंटिमेंट आप देखते हैं?
देखिए, जो ये पूरा फॉरेस्ट एरिया है और हमने वो दिखाया भी था कि किस तरीके से, किस रूट से फॉरेस्ट एरिया से जो टेररिस्ट हैं वो इंटर करते हैं और वहीं से एग्जिस्ट करते हैं। काफ़ी ये डेंस फॉरेस्ट है, काफ़ी घना को वहाँ पर कोहरा भी रहता है, तो वहाँ पर जो सर्च ऑपरेशन है वो भी चलाना मुश्किल है, लेकिन जो सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस हैं वो लगातार कॉम्बिंग ऑपरेशन चला रही है। और जो सोर्सेज हैं, इंटेल सोर्सेज हैं, उनका कहना है कि बहुत जल्द जो पहलगाम में जिन्होंने आतंकवादी हमला किया था उनको उनके अंजाम तक पहुँचाया जाएगा। पूजा,
अरविंद, एक आखिरी सवाल अगर आपके लिए कंफर्टेबल है, क्योंकि मैं समझ सकती हूँ सिचुएशन भी सेंसिटिव है। अब आप किस तरह से देखते हैं? लोगों में भी गुस्सा है लोकली, क्योंकि इस वीडियो में भी सुनाई दिया जा रहा है कि जिस तरह वहां पे जो लोकल्स थे वो भी वहां पे पैनिक में है, वो भी समझते हैं कि कैसे कस्टमर्स को मारा जा रहा है। तो एक तरह से गुस्सा लोकल्स की तरफ से भी आया है पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ।
आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा, मैंने पहलगाम से लेकर कुपवाड़ा तक हर जगह विजिट किया है। लोकल कश्मीरी भी ये जो टेररिस्ट अटैक है उसको कंडेम कर रहे हैं, वो भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा दुखी है, क्योंकि देखिए ये टूरिस्ट एरिया है, यहाँ पर टूरिस्ट आते हैं जिससे उनकी रोजी रोटी चलती है। तो ऐसे में जो टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ है कहीं ना कहीं उनकी इकोनॉमी पे भी फर्क पड़ रहा है। और वैसे भी जिस तरीके से टारगेट किलिंग की गई है टेररिस्ट के जरिए, उसके बाद लोकल पुलिस, लोकल जो कश्मीरी उनमें भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा गुस्सा है और उसको लेकर एक बड़ा विरोध प्रदर्शन भी कश्मीर की सड़कों पर हुआ। कई दिनों दुकानें भी बंद रखी है।
यस, And Mir Farid constantly updating us from on the ground, different perspectives, updates coming in for the viewer. Yes, Arvind, keep tracking the latest. Farid, thank you very much for now. So this is the fresh video on your screens. We'll continue to get you updates. And a reminder, don't move on so easily. We are talking about 26 individuals. 25 while were targeted. Also remember that one local Kashmiri Muslim who reportedly tried to intervene. One of the few ones who tried to act brave took on the terrorists. He was also not spared. A reminder that Pakistan terrorists do not care for the Kashmiris either. It was an important day in the afternoon when Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had a meeting. We have the inside scoop and the details that are coming in. Defence Minister briefed Prime Minister Modi on the Pahalgam operation right now, which is ongoing in the jungles. Also, it was a 40-minute long closed-door meeting and came amid a series of intensified security operations that are presently on across the region. Remember, armed forces have been carrying out raids on the properties associated with the terrorists and their associates as well. The National Investigation Agency presently, while is probing this case further, but also remember on the ground, whether it's the army, the CRPF, the JK police or the administration are ensuring that they are able to crack down and multiple layers when it comes to this incident. It's not just about the terror carnage that has happened, but also the aftermath of it, and that the terrorists need to be also sent across a message that your properties here will not be kept safe either if you intend to support the massacre of innocent people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was briefed by the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, a 40-minute closed-door meeting. And remember, the details expectedly not yet out because this is a, remember, top leadership meeting interacting on what next to be done. Shivani Sharma closely tracks the Defence Forces and more, has been reporting right outside from the PMO. Tell me more about this, Shivani. This was one crucial meeting because the Defence Minister met the CDS, then now briefing the Prime Minister.
Pooja, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is personally monitoring the whole situation, the operations that are going on, not only at Jammu and Kashmir, but also how India is preparing to respond after Pahalgam attack. And today's meeting was a very crucial one. It was a 40-minute long meeting where Rajnath Singh, the Defence Minister, briefed Prime Minister about the ongoing operations of the Indian Army, of the services preparedness. And also, this was a meeting after the briefing of CDS was done to the Defence Minister yesterday. And even before that, the Chief of Army Staff who himself visited on ground in Jammu and Kashmir had briefed the Defence Minister. So all in all, every day, Pooja, Prime Minister is taking stock of the situation, and the Defence Minister briefed Prime Minister about the details of the ongoing operation and even how India is preparing to respond in a befitting manner. Yes, it is a sensitive issue, and the strategic nature of the issue is such that we cannot share much details of what India is preparing for, but certainly a very hard-hitting attack on Pakistan's terror nexus is impending, and that's why we see a lot of panic in Pakistan while India is preparing on a 360-degree domain. Be it
the victims of the families and all Indians, that justice will be served and that action will be taken. Perhaps in the next few days, we'll have more updates on that as well. Shivani, thank you very much for now. Keep tracking all these huddles and meetings that are taking place. Remember that India, while hasn't taken a military decision yet, but diplomatic strikes and how, and in the latest, remember, the warfare this time in this era is not just about land, water and the air. It's also as much online. Pakistani channels have definitely tried to turn the narrative, twist it. Misinformation campaigns have been on, and that's one of the reasons that Pakistan channels have now faced restrictions. They've been banned. This is by the Indian government. A decision has been taken for disseminating provocative, communally sensitive content, and not just that, false and misleading narratives too, misinformation campaigns. Who are among some of the known channels and names? Pakistani cricketer Shoaib Akhtar's YouTube channel has been banned. Also belonging to Arzu Kazmi, who's been a known expert, so to say, or panelist, but has been giving out content that has been questionable. Syed Muzammil Shah is another YouTuber influencer, so to say, he has been restricted now. If you're an Indian citizen, you will not be able to you'll not be able to access these YouTube users and the channels. But there are popular Pakistani channels as well. The ARY News, Dawn, Sama TV, Geo News for now stand banned in India. This comes a day after a powerful message from Prime Minister also warning that it's not just about active terrorists, but backers of terrorism will also have to face punishment. And remember, there have been huddles and meetings. This is a multi-pronged approach of the government. It's not just about the Indus Water Treaty. It's also about cancelling the visas of the Pakistan nationals. And then comes in this online warfare, a crackdown on Pakistani or pro-Pakistani channels. And a reminder to Pakistan that there will be consequences, possibly of different kinds, to pay for the massacre. Let me now tell you what is this action on Pakistan propaganda. One by one, details coming in on your screens. Arzu Kazmi's YouTube channel has been blocked in India. Remember, these are channels that have had millions of following, and their content at several occasions have been about misinformation, extremely provocative and inflammatory as well. We are also told Shoaib Akhtar, popular cricketer of course, but some of the statements that he had given out, especially with regard to India, has been objectionable, stands blocked in India now. And that is the action that has been taken with regard to the propagandas. Now then comes in, these are popular channels, so to say, giving out news. Dawn and Geo News stand blocked in India. You will not be able to access it anymore. Again, this is another form of action that has been taken. Also, we are told, for example, Sama TV on your screen, ARY News. These are some of the channels also that have faced a crackdown. The government immediately going ahead to decide and ban it. Now, you would expect from the Pakistan channels or Pakistan influencers to be putting out misinformation. Why the international media is so soft and cryptic at a time when there is a clear, blatant terror attack? The Indian government has also pulled up the BBC, saying that there's been misleading reportage in how the government has raised strong categorical objections to the BBC coverage of the Pahalgam terror attack. For example, in one of the reports titled, Pakistan suspends visa for Indians after deadly Kashmir attack. It was a retaliatory measure after India decided to take action. And Kashmir attack was sponsored by Pakistan viewer, in which 26 Indians, in fact 25 Indians and one Nepalese citizen were butchered in how. BBC went on to add that it was a militant attack. A militant attack. If this is not a terror attack, what else is? Consistently using words like gunmen, for example. Now, there are many international media that have done the same, but BBC clearly, it appears, has repeatedly made these mentions, and that has caught the government's eye. It's a stern message that has been sent out, and the government says a letter expressing strong sentiments have been sent to the BBC over the use of words. So remember, amid all of this, I then decided to explore further. At a time like this, when there is absolute outrage, a condemnation that has come from world leaders on this, why is the international media so soft, so cryptic, unable to call a terror attack a terror attack? Here's more. Shock and anger after 20 tourists killed by gunmen. Who is shocked? Who is in anger? What kind of tourists? And gunmen asked what? They asked for Islamic verses to be recited. And when the victims could not, obviously, then they were shot on the head. That is the fact. Even if you ignore the headline, because there could be a style sheet norm or a space crunch and blah blah, come to the details. 24 people. Why could even an elaborate caption with enough space to write not mention that these 24 people were 23 Hindus, 2 Christians, killed at ease, identified and hit at point-blank range in a jihadist attack? NYT adds that it is a terror attack, but only in quotes. Because, well, the Indian Prime Minister said so. Otherwise, not so much, we are not very sure. At least 24 tourists gunned down by militants in Kashmir. Every word here is so problematic. Not simply 24 tourists randomly shot 24 Indians in their own country, checked and confirmed as non-Muslims, targeted on religion basis by radical jihadists, massacred, sent from Pakistan to identify and target them. Were lined up, sideline, asked to kneel, trousers pulled down for some of them, targeted on identity basis, leaving their women, mocking the families. Does any of this sense come from the headline that you just read here? The world is taking note. The world's leaders are speaking and acknowledging. Why are then some in international media either soft peddling and honestly not even reporting at a mass level as this should have been? The Associated Press and other foreign agencies are more interested to use safe words. But their focus still is to ensure writing rather India administered, India controlled, rather than detail what unfolded in Pahalgam. First of all, let me break some misconception for you once and hopefully for all. There is no Indian occupied Kashmir. That's ignorance. Kashmir is the land of Shaivism, Lord Shiva and Ma Parvati, even before Islam was born. Maybe the international media does not care about Indians or Hindus, the brown people, you know. But I'm sure they care about the Israel-Palestine conflict. They've reported on it extensively. Did you not see similarities in the 7/11 massacre and 2204 for India? Not a coincidence. Hamas extremists were seen in Pakistan-occupied Jammu Kashmir in February. Look at these images. Similar strategy then was used on how Hamas had carried out the massacre on 7/11 was carried out in Pahalgam. The same high-tech equipment, body cam footage, helmets, targeted, identified attacks. International media cannot see what the world observers clearly can. The international media reported extensively on ISI-style executions, and today you intend to soft pedal because Indians and Hindus are the victims. However, there's been a turning point as well. World leaders have united in this fight against terror, expressing support and solidarity. Some of these leaders from the USA, UK, France, Italy have spoken personally to Prime Minister Modi, expressing solidarity and support. Here's a special report on at least how the world leaders have taken a side and is to stand with India.
थोड़ा बताइए हुआ पति को मार दिया मुर्दाबाद मुर्दाबाद
The world is standing with India in this fight against terrorism. In response to the terror carnage in Kashmir rallies Pahalgam, global communities led by the Indian diaspora are hosting candlelight vigils and protests to pay tribute to the victims. The Indian diaspora gathered outside the Indian High Commission in London, holding a vigil to remember the Pahalgam attack victims. Pakistanis also turned up outside the Indian High Commission in a counter-protest, claiming that Pakistan had no role in Pahalgam attack despite glaring evidence.
That is the support shown by vehicles that are passing by, and these are on the other side, and it seems that the distance is quite a bit, so there won't be hopefully any confrontation or escalation, and they would be kept separate from each other. The Pakistani origin people who have turned up outside the Indian High Commission saying that they shouldn't be blamed for the Pahalgam attack.
We want to send a message that we are here for peace. We are against terrorism, and we are against the continuous terrorist attacks on innocent people.
Meanwhile, in Toronto, Canada, a protest was held by the Indo-Canadian community and joined by multi-ethnicities and nationalities against Pakistan-sponsored terror carnage.
People from the Baloch community, all different communities coming together to say, you know, we stand with the victims of the terrorist attack, not the perpetrator, because Kashmiri Hindus have faced, 7 genocides in their history, going as most recently as 1990, and if we don't stand up and if the world doesn't take a strong position, they could face an 8th.
Also, India's Dawoodi Bohra community in New York's Queens came together to offer a heartfelt tribute to the victims of the terror attack. Global leaders are pledging their support to India in this fight against terrorism, proving to be a turning point. In the latest, FBI Director Kash Patel has condemned the terror attack and assured India of continued USA support. This comes after Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence in America, said that USA stands in solidarity with India. US President Donald Trump had called up Prime Minister Narendra Modi and has already condemned the attack, calling it a bad one. Although he also expressed confidence that both countries will eventually iron out their differences.
Very close to India and I'm very close to Pakistan, as you know, and they've had that fight for 1,000 years in Kashmir. Kashmir's been going on for 1,000 years, probably longer than that. And it was a bad one yesterday, though. That was a bad one.
Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian expressed deep sorrow over the attack and emphasized Iran's solidarity with India. With Lavina Tandon from London, Bureau Report, India Today. Cities across the world and importantly every major city here in the country. I can tell you that Delhi, Gurugram, Noida, Mumbai, Bengaluru. Almost every neighborhood we are receiving reports from where the citizens of the country, irrespective of their political, ideological, religious differences, have come together. And that either for a candlelight vigil, a protest march, but to stand united as Indians, condemning the senseless violence sponsored by Pakistan and to pay the tribute to the lives lost and tell those families, 26 families, that the whole of India stands with them. It's a message of hope, unity and a collective stand against Pakistan-sponsored jihadist terror. And these Indians have come together, 4 Indians, 26 individuals in total. Not a number, not a statistics, not a data. Human beings, men. 25 of them targeted simply for their faith and identity and names. One, a local Kashmiri Muslim who tried to intervene and face the terrorists, was also not spared. This was once a meadow of peace, tranquility, beauty, where these Indians with their families had decided to go. But today, the families are cremating the mortal remains of these men. The world will move on, I hope. However, India and Indians will remember. Forever stand with the families. 26 families lost now.